What's up, guys and gals? Mirrormask here, coming at you yet again with another Elder Scrolls Online video. This time, I'm on a Sorcerer level 30. Bring it up. There we go. I went full Magicka, 29 points into Magic so far. I went AOE build. I respect like 6 or 7 times already, but yeah, it costs a fortune. But I'm going to show you guys how to make all that gold back and how to power level yourself up to a good level 29-30 really fast. When you first come into this zone, Rivenspire, which is after you leave Stormhaven, you'll come into Rivenspire, which is just north. You'll come right through the gate up there, and then you'll come right to this little farm area right here. Now, you're going to be doing a lot of grinding here. There's usually a ton of people here. I don't know where everybody's at right now. I'm going to go over my build and everything too in this video, but I'm just showing you where you're going to be at. It's this little farm right in here. It's in between the city and the gate where you come in. This little farm right here. Now, everything you pick up, you're just going to run up the road to the city. There's a little vendor right inside here. I'll show you where it's at shortly. Go over the build that I'm using right now. Now, what I did on my build is, at first, I went summons. Just pure summons. And it did pretty good, but see, I didn't have enough points, and I didn't have my Destro staff up high enough to get this skill right here, Impulse. Impulse is the shiznit when it comes to AOE grinding on this class, on the Sorcerer, or just in general. Just any class with the Destruction staff is awesome. But it helps a lot with this class because it does do, you know, lightning damage and all that kind of stuff, and I have things that buff damage with lightning damage, so it helps. Now, to go over my build real quick, my loadout, it's basically the same on both my bars for leveling purposes right now. I'm using Impulse, but you won't have Impulse when you first start because the odds that your Destruction staff will be at level, I think it was level 38 or something like that. You had to have, or no, excuse me, 28. No, yeah, 38. Yeah, you had to be 38, I think, to get Impulse. So I just recently got it, and it is amazing. But what I did is I put as many skills as I possibly could from the Destruction staff on my bar, while also being able to have lightning armor on there as well. Because lightning armor is crucial for what you're going to be doing here, because there's going to be a lot of people here, and there's going to be a lot of people farming this stuff, and you need to be able to tag as many things as possible, and that lightning armor really helps. You cast that, it just shocks everything around you, and just leave it on as much as possible. You know, if you have the mana for it, keep it on. And then I put 4 skills right here, but I've respec, so I don't have these 4 skills anymore. But as you can see, they're all level 4 because I leveled with them. But that was just to level the staff as fast as possible. And I also used from the Mages Guild vendor the 24% experience staff, the training staff. I used that to level this as fast as possible so that I could get Impulse as soon as possible. Because you'll see in a minute, Impulse is just awesome when it comes to this kind of shit. Other than that, I mean, the build I'm using right now, I'm using Impulse. I'm using Bound Armor, which is awesome. Bound Armor, basically, I'll show it to you in a second if you're not familiar with it. Bound Armor basically turns your light armor into heavy armor. And it's toggled, so it stays on. Then I'm using the Twilight Summon. Now, this is why I respec so many times, because the morph of this summon is, one of them restores mana. It has an always on kind of aura around it that gives you mana regeneration. Now, from what I can tell, it's not a whole lot, because I'm like overstated on my Magicka and my Magicka regen anyway, so I'm not getting that. I'm getting 1 point, 1 mana regen point difference. So I was like, nah, you know, I might as well not even have it. So I respec again before this video and went back to the other morph. The other morph is when you drop below 35% health, it'll heal you, and it can happen every 30 seconds. So this is really good for when you're farming. This morph of this pet is really good because it heals you for a lot. I mean, if you just get out of the way and don't, and don't let stuff hit you, your health bar just fills back up almost in a few seconds. Next skill I'm using is Thundering Presence, which is the morph of the lightning armor. This one just makes it last 8.7 seconds longer. And then I use the unstable Clan Fear because it does AoE damage and it's a little bit more tankier. Now, the reason I'm using both lightning armor and bound armor is because bound armor, like I said, it increases your armor, in my case with my magicka, 390. So it puts me in almost heavy armor. And then when I buff with Thundering Presence, it increases my armor and spell resistance by 1050 for 8.7 seconds. Now, that's a ton. That is a lot. If you see what my armor currently is, 396, and my spell resistance is 1044. As soon as I'm gonna go ahead and put on my armor, Guyver. Doesn't that look cool? So when you see mages or sorcerers running around, or people running around wearing armor that looks like this, you're like, dang, that's a full set. Where'd they get that from? It's not a set. It's just it's a buff. It's a skill. It's always on. It looks really awesome. Kind of reminds me of Guyver. But as you can see, it bumped my armor up to 786. So we're at 1044 and 786. Then we're going to buff with lightning. Look at that. 1463 and 1163. So I am pretty tanky like this. Now, my future plans with this build is... Where's it at? Destro Staff. Right here. I want this. I'm trying my best to get my destruction staff up to 41 as fast as possible so I can get this. This basically means, let me read it real quick before I jump ahead. Restores 90 magicka 90 magicka when killing an enemy with a destruction spell, which is Impulse. That's a destruction staff spell. So that's my main AoE spell as well. So when I kill people with that, I'm regaining magicka, which in turn lets me cast it more and more. So yeah, it's awesome. But let me go ahead and get my pets out. Now, as you can see, there's people over here farming, but I'm going to do a general run around and kind of show you the path to take here. Go ahead and knock these guys out. See, I'm not getting any XP or loot from these guys because I'm actually higher than 5. I'm 6 levels higher than them, so I won't be getting anything from them. That's the way levels work in this game. You can gain XP from anything 5 levels lower than you and 5 levels higher than you. Anything outside of that 10 level range there, around whatever level you're at, you won't gain any loot or XP from. Now, a little bit about, if you're not familiar with Thundering Presence or Lightning Armor, what it does is it shocks things around you. Let me go and find, here we go, we'll go up to these guys right here. Now I'm going to buff it, and as you can see, you'll see lightning shooting out at me. See? It's shooting out and hitting them. It's just shooting out and zapping them. So the reason you want that when you're in this area right here is because I'm actually surprised there's not a whole lot of people here, but usually there's a ton of people here, and you want to run around with this armor on so it zaps, so it's tagging stuff, because you're probably, if you got the destruction staff, trying to level it up so you can get impulse. Impulse is this skill right here. Now the reason I'm using the lightning staff, I'll get into the different effects of impulse in a second, but you want to be able to tag these things, and since you're going to be running around with your low level stuff, you're probably not going to have any AoE because you'll be trying to max out your destruction staff. So you need lightning armor to be able to tag as many of these things as possible so that you'll get the XP, because like I've said in previous videos, to get XP from killing something, you only have to tag it. That's it. You don't have to be the one that kills it. You don't even have to do a ton of damage to it. You literally just got to tag it and you'll get stuff from it. But this is basically the gist of it. This is what you'll be doing here. As you can see, lightning armor shocking everything, tagging it, finishing off with that. But this is the basic loot that you'll do. You'll just kind of run up here. There'll be 2 that spawn by this fence, 2 that spawn on that door like there, 2 right there. Then we'll hop the fence here so we don't pull them. There'll be 2 right here. There'll be 2 at this stable. There will be 3 right over here. There will be 3 right here. There'll be 1 sitting on this little body area right here. There'll be 1 big tough guy right here. There'll be 1 guy in that barn. And there'll be 2 guys right here. Wow, I didn't realize I knew it that well. I guess I've been here. I ran the loop so many times. But anyway, so after that, you can go up that way to get to that city, but it's so much easier to go beside this barn here and get on this road, because this road is a dead straight shot all the way up. Now, you'll be getting a ton of loot and a ton of just gold from selling that loot. You'll get a lot of blue drops that you can sell in the guild stores. I recommend, unless there's some pieces that you want, I recommend just vendoring all the greens and whites, and you'll have a ton of gold. I'd have a ton of gold right now. I've only got like 7,500. I was up to about 20-something thousand, but like I said, I respect a couple of times and I just wasn't happy. But anyway, you come in that gate right here, and here's the vendor right here. You go to this chick, you just say, no, I don't want any of this crap, and you just sell it all. I don't actually have anything to sell, but because I vendored earlier. But anyway, that's where you'll level up to about 29, and then I'll just show you on the map because it'd take a while to run up there. When you get to 29, you're going to come up here to the top of the Ribbonspire map, right up here. This is where I'm farming at right here. This beach line right here. It's essentially the same rinse and repeat kind of stuff as down here. You're right around this city, so you just run around, you run a path, you loot till your bags are full, you come around, you come up in the city, sell your stuff, out the back gate, back on the beach, and rinse and repeat, just up and down this beach. Now, you level extremely, extremely fast. Now, I have a little meter down here. Let me free my mouse up. Down here. Now, I usually average, when I was down in the farm area down here, I was averaging anywhere between, I don't know, 26 to 35,000 XP an hour. So I mean, I was just burning through levels. I got, let's say, a total of 9 levels today. 9 levels. I went from 21 all the way up to 30 today. Now tomorrow I'm going to start on leveling some more, and I'll be up in this little area right here along this beach up here. Now, make sure you have all your racials. You know what? Oh, I need. What is this? Increase magic of recovery. Oh yes. Well, I don't. Yep, I need that. Make sure you have your passives, like I said in the other videos. Your passives. You know, I know everyone wants to do a ton of damage and all this stuff, and they want to ignore their passives from, you know, in the beginning, but those passives really have some extra benefits to them that you might not realize early on. Oh, I got Prodigy. What is that? Grants 5% stress, cause critical damage while light armor. Yes, please. Anyway, yeah, make sure you get your passives. I like you can see, I have all the passives that I can possibly get for all this stuff. That's my next one. I want that one bad. From my racials, from my weapons, from my armor, from most of my skills, the ones that apply to this build, I've picked those up. Now, the overload up here in the Stormcalling tree, that's the... Oh, wait, I swapped my staff. I don't have it pulled down there on this one. That's what I'm running right now for my... ultimate, and the reason being is because it's toggleable, so you toggle it on, and unlike a couple of other ultimates out there, while you have it toggled on, it stays on indefinitely until you run out of ultima points. But the cool thing about this buff, about this ultimate, is you can recharge it. Like, you can fill it up while you've got the buff on you. So you can essentially have it on as long as you want until you decide to drain it completely without recharging it up. Now, when you have Impulse and you have Lightning Armor, every time you do damage with impulse or lightning armor, every time lightning armor shoots a bolt out and shocks something around you, it gets you ultimate towards this. So what I do is I fill it up, then I buff myself with it, then I use it a little bit, and keep it on it. It makes your hands turn into lightning in this case, and then I use some of the other skills to build it back up without ever losing, the buff. And it does a ton of damage with a left click hold down, a heavy attack. So that's why I like to have it on. It's kind of like my panic button, so to speak, is I've always got it on, and if stuff starts to hit the fan, I can just hold down that and just vaporize stuff. So yeah, that's kind of my little tip there. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm just trying to do a general, show you guys where to go to level. I know a lot of people are like, how are these people hitting level 50 so fast? Where are they leveling at? Blah 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 blah. Like I showed you right here, come down to this little farm, just go at it. Put some music on, whatever. Just run around, rinse and repeat. Run up here. You'll get a ton of gold. You'll get a ton of XP, a ton of good drops, ton of blue stuff. Then when you're level 29 and you're done with this area, run all the way up the road here. Come up here, run this beach, do the same kind of thing. Now, if you notice, I have an add-on called Sky Shards. That's the name of the ad. I don't know if I pointed this out in my other video, but it shows me where all the little Sky Shards are. So I've run around and I've gathered a pretty good bit of Sky Shards for my level. That's how I'm able to get all these passives and stuff. That's how I'm able to make myself stronger at level 30 than the average level 30 is, because I've got all my passives that I want so far and all that. Now, some of the passives, if you notice right here, this is why I say passives are super important. Some of the passives allow certain pieces of armor, or in this case, certain pets to do certain things. Like one of my passives gives my pets, when I have one summon, oh, did I sell something? When I have a gold seller just messaged me right here while I'm making a video. But anyway, yeah, when I have pets out, it gives me health regeneration in combat. So that's good. That's a good buff. That's a good passive to have. Now, like I said, make sure to get the bound armor as soon as you can. Make sure to get your lightning armor. And try to, if you really want to level fast on a sorcerer, you're going to have to go with impulse. So, just, bite the bullet for a little while. Use the crappy skills in the destruction staff. Put 1 point into each. Trust me, you'll earn plenty of gold. You'll be able to respec out of this once you get impulse. But that is like the main skill that you need to have if you're going to be like seriously trying to power level on a sorcerer. To go over the different, remember I told you earlier in the video that I would go over the different why I'm using the lightning staff and what each one does. Alright, lightning staff gives concussion to impulse. Flame staff gives a burning, like a damage over time effect, and frost staff gives a chill effect, which is kind of like a snare. It freezes them a little bit. But the reason I'm not using chilled and I'm not using burning for my bonuses, or flame staff or frost staff, is because concussion, if you're not familiar with what it is, concussion reduces the damage that enemies do to you by 10%. Now, when you're doing AOE damage, and I'm pulling, sometimes in that loop I was showing you down there at the little farm camp, I was pulling 7, 8, 9 things on you. Now 7, 8, 9 mobs on you in this game that are around your level is hella a lot. Like a lot. It can kill you very quickly. So I use lightning staffs to concussion them, so I take less damage basically. Also, the 2 pets here, I know a lot of people don't use the pets on the Sorcerer because they're not really pet class kind of people. But this little pet down here, he does AOE damage and he's kind of tanky, so that's nice. This pet right here does range damage and actually hits pretty hard, while also healing me when I get below 33% or 35% health. Unless I got the other morph, in which case gives me the mana regen, or the magicka regen, excuse me. But when you're AOE farming or grinding or XP grinding or whatever you want to call it, power leveling, they're really nice to have because it's extra damage. And they keep some of this guy sometimes will pull aggro. This one pulls aggro more because it does more damage. But it's nice to have a little extra AOE and a little extra ranged and some healing. So yeah, I recommend using the pets. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I know the outlay looks a little weird because I was live streaming. I just got done live streaming, so I'm making a video now. But yeah, anyway, check me out. Make sure to check me out on hitbox.tv/mirrormask. I stream there literally every single night. So you guys make sure to swing by there and give me a follow on there. Following me, just like on Twitch, will notify you when I go live, and you can come in and check me out. But make sure to leave any comments or questions below. If you've got any other ideas on some AOE builds or anything for the Sorcerer around my level, feel free to leave them in the comments. Share the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, like it or dislike it. Either way, lets me know how you feel, and I will see you guys in the next video or on my live stream. Don't forget to check out my